Hey guys, Vladimir here with Desktop Makes. So this is going to be one of those videos where we look at a design and sort of tackle it together. Or, well, I'm going to do it and you're going to watch. But just a little background. In my weekly live Fusion Zoom class I do, one of my students asked me how I would approach this design here. So a few of my students are into Model Railroad. And this is a HO scale bungalow here by Kabrumble. If you're into this stuff, check him out. This is on Thingiverse. I'll put a link to it below, but he's got some really neat models. So the question is, how would I approach this roof here? The model, you download it in a bunch of different parts and you assemble it. And as you can see, really great job by the designer here. But we don't have the design file. We just have the mesh, so you can download the STL. And a lot of times you want to sort of maybe make some changes, or maybe you're just curious of how you would approach this. So we're going to look at some tools in Fusion that allow you to be able to sort of reconstruct a model from an STL file. All right, so I've already downloaded just the roof section here, and we'll bring that into Fusion. And so to do that, I'm going to go into our mesh workspace, go to Create, Insert Mesh, select from my computer, choose the file, open. Now, the first tip I want to give here, which you'll find really helpful if you don't know this already, notice the orientation of the model to my work planes here. So I got my different planes here, top, front, and side. But a lot of times the model doesn't come in relation to any of those, and it makes it a really pain to work with it. So if I move this out, you see it looks like it might be at 45 degrees, but you can't really tell, and you can try to turn this to get it close, but if you're not dead on and you're just a little bit off, that can actually be worse because you're assuming you're on a certain plane and you're not. So I want to show you a quick way you can address this. I'm just going to click OK here. Keep this where it is. We're going to go to Modify, down to Direct Edit, and we're going to click on our model, click OK, go back to Modify. You'll know you're in Direct Edit because you'll see this dialog box here and it'll say Finish Direct Editing on the bottom. But what this is going to do, it's going to open up the option here to Mesh Align, and that's what we want. So we'll click on Mesh Align, and very simple the way this works, we're just going to click on a flat face. And it's great for models like this where you have these sort of long flat faces, and it's not just like an organic shape would be difficult because it's made up of all these little triangles. But, you know, this is still made up of triangles, but this triangle is, you know, basically this flat face here. So I'm going to click on that, and then it's going to say 2. I'm going to select that, and then I'm going to choose my plane that I want to align that to. Let me orient here. So I'm going to choose this plane here, and I'm going to click Preview so it'll show it. And now if I go to a front view, you can see how that's oriented right to that plane. And the bottom is already on the bottom, but if I wanted that, I could do that as well. But so that tool right there makes it so much easier now when you bring in an STL and it's not aligned to a specific plane. So that's the first tip I wanted to show today. When you're all done, just click Finish Direct Edit. So revisiting the question of how would we approach this design, sort of the main element here are these trusses here, like how would we approach those? So I'm going to show you some tips here on how I would create that. Now there's a bunch of ways we could kind of tackle this. One way is I can create a section analysis here. So I'll go to Inspect, Section Analysis, choose this plane here, and then I can take this arrow back. And probably a good idea to flip it so I see it from the front. And then I would move this until I get to the area I want, click OK, click on this front plane, and then I can sort of create a sketch here and start maybe tracing this. But there's a better way. This is, it can work if you're in a pinch, but the problem is you've just got a lot of stuff in the way and you're not, you know, you got to really get in there to snap onto those corners. Or it doesn't really snap, you're just kind of, you know, visually aligning it. So like I said, there's a better way. And what we're going to take advantage of is a tool called Create Mesh Section. So let me untoggle Analysis here. I'm going to go to Create Mesh Section. And here it's going to say choose your body. I'm going to choose the body. And it's going to say choose a section plane. I'm going to choose this front plane. I'll take this arrow and start dragging it in. All right, so it's not doing anything. Something is wrong. Let me see. I've got my bodies here. You can see my mesh body, but it's supposed to show me an outline of where this body, how it intersects that plane wherever I'm moving this arrow. So see if you can figure out what that problem is. And I'm purposely going to show this because I've come across this error quite a few times, and I think it'll be helpful for you to know how to fix it. So if you haven't figured it out yet, if you have, congratulations. If not, if you notice here, I've got that little flag on my STL file. So it says mesh is not closed, mesh is not oriented, mesh does not have positive volume. So I've got some errors there, and we need to fix those. I found that in other tools I tried to use with the mesh environment, if I ever do have an error here where it's not a closed mesh, it doesn't let you proceed. So we need to take care of this. And the way we do that is we just click on it, and it brings up this repair dialog box. You've got options here on different ways to repair it. I just usually go with the default stitch and remove, and that seems to work. If it doesn't work, try the other options. But we're going to click on that, and you know it works when the little flag goes away. So we're good. So we're going to go back again and try the create mesh section sketch. Choose our body and then choose our plane. We're going to reference that front plane there, and then start taking this arrow in, and you see what I was referring to. You have that outline. If we untoggle the body here, you'll see it a little bit better. I'm going to bring this to the front where it hits that first truss there. And so I'm just going to move it till I see it's got the full outline in there, and I'm going to click OK. And then look at our timeline when it does that, because it ends up creating this mesh section feature, but also before that it throws a sketch. That's going to be important. So if I zoom in here, we see we have our mesh, and then right where we position that arrow, we've got an outline that it projected. So that we have an outline here wherever that mesh intersected that plane. Now, the problem with this is it's not a profile that I can extrude. It doesn't get treated just like a sketch entity, which it's not. I'm not sure what it is, but it's not like lines and arcs. So we have to take an additional step here, which involves going back to that sketch that it created and opening it up to edit. So I'm going to double click on there. And once you open the sketch up, you can now go to create and down to this section here that you'll see it'll say fit curves to mesh section. And this is where we're going to convert these lines here to actual sketch features. So you've got options here. It can either be a line, an arc, a spline, or closed spline, closed circle, and closed ellipse. Basically all the features here that I need are created with lines. It doesn't look like I'll need any arcs or splines, so I'm going to choose lines and make sure select here is highlighted blue. And all I'm going to do now is just make sure you zoom in, and you'll notice it snaps a little dot wherever it sees a corner. So I'm just going to go and select those dots and then go back to the original one, and it's drawing lines around it, so it's throwing sketch lines, and I'll click OK. And it's going to treat this just like regular lines in a closed profile. So here I have this, you'll see it gets highlighted like a closed profile, and I can take that and extrude it if I want to. So I'm just going to do that to all these different shapes here to bring them into the sketch. And so let me just do that really quick. I'm going to right click and just keep choosing repeat fit curves to mesh section. Alright, now that I've selected all my shapes here, I'm going to click Finish Sketch. And I'm going to select this profile here to just highlight the truss there, E for extrude. I'm not sure yet the thickness of it yet, so I'm just going to do like 10 millimeters. And let's go and find that thickness. To do that, I'm going to create another create mesh section sketch here. So let me turn on that STL, and then I'll go to create mesh section sketch, choose my body. Now for my plane here, I'm actually gonna leave it where it is, and I'm just gonna, you can take this little widget and turn it 90 degrees, and you'll see here, you wanna get it to snap 90. If you don't see it, just let's bring this down. You should get that little, the Z angle to snap to 90 degrees, and I'll click OK. So now when I untoggle the mesh here, you'll see now we have a perpendicular profile to our design here. Okay, what I want to do here is find out the width of this beam here. So let's create a sketch. Actually, we first have to go back to our solid environment because we're still in our mesh, and I'm going to create sketch. I'm just going to choose this plane here that I'm looking at, the front plane. I'm only using this to just get a dimension. So because I can't select these, I can't reference off of them. I can't just go to inspect and click, on the line or edge to edge. So what I'm going to do is zoom in very close and just place a point right on that corner there, and then zoom out and then back in on the other corner, and that'll tell me what that distance is there. I'll go to inspect, select this line, and I can see it's about 17.5 millimeters. All right, so I'm gonna undo because I really don't need that sketch. I just wanted the dimension. All right, 17.5, so I'm gonna go back to that extrude feature and I'll type that in here, 17.5, enter. One more thing I wanna fix, you can see here where I created that section where that sketch is, it's not lined up to where the front of this truss is here. So I want to move it up. So actually let's take that measurement as well. I'm going to do the same approach. I'm just going to create a sketch on this plane here. And what I want to measure is the distance from this point here on my extrusion to where it needs to be. Whereas right here on the front of that truss here. So I'm going to click there. Okay, inspect, click on that line, 15.8 millimeters. All right, I'm gonna undo 15.8. Let's remember that number. So to fix this, I'm gonna create an offset plane, 15.8 millimeters. And then I'm gonna redefine that sketch to be where that plane is. So here, okay, create offset plane, reference this face, I'm gonna move it up, negative 15.8, hit enter. If I go to front view, it should be right there in line with it. Okay, great. And then I want to go to this sketch, which one is it? It's this one here, and redefine it. You'll notice an issue here. If I right click and go redefine sketch plane, it's not going to show me anything after that sketch because it can't reference anything after it. So what I'm going to do is take the plane and bring it back in time so that it's before that sketch. And oh, you know what? It's not going to let me. And the reason it's not going to let me is because the sketch I made here, I referenced this extrusion, and this extrusion references that sketch. So you can't have, a reference from a feature that goes back to that reference, if that makes sense. So I have to figure out a different way to reference this plane here. So let me delete that. And actually, I'll just take my timeline back first to before that sketch. And that's not going to work because then I can't see where I need to put it. Okay, so I need to figure this out. Let's see, I'm going to go bring this back forward. Okay, I'm going to create an offset plane. I'm going to reference the front plane, and I'm going to drag it, and I'm just going to sort of visually line it up to this point right there, and then I'm going to look at that number, 37.59. So let's just say, oh, sorry, not 37, 375.6, let's say, right there. Click OK, or enter. Now I've got a plane there. Okay, now because this plane references the origin plane, it doesn't reference any feature on my timeline, I can take it and it should let me drag it back to before that sketch. Perfect. Now what I can do is go to this sketch, say redefine sketch plane, bring that plane into view, click on it to select it. Click OK. You saw it move a little bit. And now if I go to front view, I can see, yeah, so it moved that sketch right to where that plane is. And you can see here if I toggle, let's take off that plane and toggle that sketch on and or the body, it's right in line to where that truss starts. Okay, so perfect. And we've got our body here. And that's the right thickness there. So, all right, last thing we're going to do is just create a pattern here. So we're going to go to create, down to pattern, rectangular pattern. And I'm going to choose bodies as my object type. Choose my one truss. select axis, and I'll just choose the x-axis here. And I'm going to take that. There's a few ways you can pattern. You can do spacing or extent. Spacing, you define it by, you know, the spacing in between object. With extent, you just go to your last object and then you tell it how many you want in between. So here I'm going to do that. I'm going to do it that way using extents. I'm going to take this. I'm just going to eye it right here. You want to again zoom in right to the end there. We'll give it a nice even number, 963.5, which should be good. Almost. It still goes a little bit over. So what was it for? That's better. Okay, 963.4. And now I'm just going to click the little plus sign here to add how many I want. So let me zoom out a little bit. I'm just going to keep adding until you'll see them all match up. So perfect. I'm going to click OK. And there we have it. And there are all my trusses. Okay, so yeah, basically, I mean, I can kind of continue the same method to create the rest of this design, but I'll stop here. And so mainly two things, tools here that are really going to help you if you have an STL file that you sort of want to recreate. One is, well, make sure you're in your mesh environment. Fusion has kind of moved all these mesh tools now into their own environment. So just a quick recap. The first thing I did, we had to go into Direct Edit first. And here you can choose your mesh. And once you do that, you have this option called Mesh Align that lets you align one of the faces of your mesh to one of your planes, which makes it so much easier, or a lot easier, to be able to then manipulate that mesh. Because when it's skewed a little bit and you're trying to eye it, it's just a pain. And the next tool here was that Create Mesh Section Sketch, which allows you, as you saw here, to bring in, it's kind of like it's a projection where it brings the projection of the outline of that STL into a sketch. But it's not quite, right? Because you still have to go in and make those lines. So it brings in, I don't know what, I don't even know what they are, what to call them, but they're lines that aren't really lines. But then you can go ahead and reference them in Fusion. It has a way you can snap to them actually, and then actually create lines. So you're not just relying on like tracing it. It's a step up from having to trace it. Okay, and there's a few more things you could do with that tool. Obviously, I just don't have the time to kind of jump in and show them all. But yeah, so just wanted to hop on, show these tools. I think they'll be really helpful. Play with it, and you can see how just was able to do that to create this. All right, so this was one example of sort of questions I get in my weekly live class. If you're someone who's looking to improve your Fusion design skills and you want that type of help, check out the description below where I'll leave a link to more information and how you can join my weekly class if you're interested. All right, guys, I will see you in the next one.